Are you enjoying the crypto bear market? It's playing out virtually exactly as expected. We're a break below 80k to target sub 70k. In fact, it went all the way down to 60k before it bounced. Got to 72 and now it's back below 70k. All whilst I was on a trip to Paris. So did you buy the dip? Yeah, imagine that. All those who failed to sell 120k have just lost 50%. It's down 50%. Price range 50%, that's the high. And it went down 50 more. 53% drop. Can you imagine that? 53%. This is pretty fast. No, 30% is normal, 36%, 50% is it's pretty severe. It's a pretty severe drop, that is it. So those who failed to sell are now gonna, from 60k, they need 100% gain just to get back to where they were, around 120k when I sold 90% of my Bitcoin, as all those who followed me did. Same with the other cryptos. There's a fat chance of them getting back to 120k. You're not getting a new all-time. Not after a 50% drop. You're not getting a new all-time high anytime soon. In fact, my target since before it tops is around sub 50k, but given the speed of this decline, even though it is due a bounce, which is, so far has been pretty feeble, I think, like I've warned people in the comments, it could go below 30k. That is not my base case, but I'm just looking at how fast this decline's been. So I've accumulated on the drop with a view to trimming some of what I bought on the rally, but it's been pretty feeble. Let's look at Ethereum. That's been, it's virtually achieved the target. This was put in before the drop here. Go look at my other video, my previous video, when I put these targets in. It's achieved that and more. The bear market target could go to 700. It's now looking like it could trade below 1,000. I think my base case was 1750, which has been achieved. My base case for the Ethereum bear market is achieved, but I warned it's likely to break this low and target and at least get to 1,000 and maybe even get to something crazy like 700. And I did this before this drop. Let's take a look at Solana. Similarly, perfectly, it fell. And now it should bounce. It had a small bounce. It fell to 60, about 66k. I mean, not 66. And I was buying on this dip with a view to selling to back over 100 to around 124. And I put this in before this drop, like when it was trading over about 120. And it's playing out perfectly. And this is the expected pattern. It could go as low as 30. The pace is accelerated. The pace of decline is accelerated. There's no sign of a bottom. It needs to, create a bottoming pattern. So cryptos are in a severe bear market. Yeah, you can accumulate at 80 and then wait for 2 to 3 years for this, and then sell it over 200. That you still get 3x, but you're going to have a deep drawdown. It could go to 30. That's cryptos for you. Remember, we're talking about toy money here. This is not real money. What we do is we convert toy money into real money, and that becomes a profit, and then we withdraw the real money from accounts. So you don't want to put the real money back into toy money. That's how you lose all of your profits. Anyway, those who follow me know what I've been saying for the whole of 2025, to crystallize your profits and convert from toy money, play money into real money, and withdraw from the crypto accounts, because you don't know if the crypto chains are going to go bust. You don't know what could happen, get hacked. It's happened so many times before. And I've also been buying some crypto stocks in a nicer, like Clean Spark, call it, miner, and then there's Coinbase. This went down to 145. That is pretty severe. It's going low. It's going. I said I expected it to trade down to 70, and it looks like it's going to. I don't know. There's a lot of support at 70, so it could make a bottom in this range between 85 and 70. But it's not over. The decline's not over. I have accumulated a position now. You can check the portfolio to see where I stand, and it could bounce. You know, if Bitcoin bounces, it will bounce back to over 200, where I will trim what I bought. But if it doesn't, I'll just keep accumulating. I've got plenty of scope to accumulate. That's the main cryptos. There's other Bitmine, but they're the main ones. Oh, there's Circle as well. Should we have a look at Circle? Yeah, I've bought too much Circle. Where is it? Oh, Circle Group. Oh, what have I done here? I don't know. Oh yeah, it's not got much price history. Circles. I mapped out a sort of trend for Circle. Bottom. It could bottom at around 30. And this is how I would expect to play out. Eventually, I see it going over 200 and probably over 300 eventually, but it's going to be probably years down the road. At the moment, I'm in the accumulation phase. I was telling folk when it was trading over 200 here that my big buys will be below 100. And when it fell below 100, here I started accumulating. I trimmed some on this rally. It might not look like much, but it was. Yeah, I'll show you what this rally was like. From here to here, that is a 40% rally. So there was scope to trim some, and then it started falling again back below 100. I started accumulating again, and then it broke the low, 64 low, and it went down to below 50. You know, I said, I can't remember exactly where, but I'm sure I said it in when it was around 160, around here, that it could trade down to 30. It could do a Coinbase. See, that was the precedence. That's what Coinbase did. So I'm saying, looking at what Coinbase did, even though I was accumulating sub 100, it could do a Coinbase and go to 30. It's got pretty close to it already. I don't think there's much downside left to Circle. You know, 50, 30, percentage wise it might be big, but it's already up off the low. It might not look like much, but it's up 25%. It's not enough to trim. You know, I would seek this, like, you can see what I seek in this. I seek 50%, like that, 40%, at least 40% to trim. So when it gets to about 70, then I'll start trimming. And because I bought a lot, I hold a lot because I've got a lot of cash, 72% cash. So I've got itchy fingers. When I see an opportunity, you know, target stock drops, I buy. I bought Coinbase, I bought a few the softwares, CRM, because they fell, and I've got a lot of cash. I've got a lot of scope to do buying. So anyway, you can't act with the benefit of hindsight. All you know is that it's cheap now, so you accumulate. It could get cheaper. You don't know. I've mapped out a rough pattern. Yeah, it looks like Elliott Wave, but it's not. Elliott Wave is just similar. Where's the B gone? Oh yeah, A, B, C, D, E. That's 5 waves, and then I've just done 1, 2, no, yeah, I've just done one to show that it could get to over 100 and then crack back down to around 60. But I'll be trimming around, this is my target, to trim a 50% bounce. And then you got resistance here at around 90. It could go between, a bounce could take it between 75 and 90. Eventually it might go to 30 first. It might do this. It might do this and then go to, and then do that. Yeah, it could do that. But it'll eventually trade in between 76 and 190, where I'll trim, lighten my position, because I think I'm about 140% invested. Anyway, that's a quick look at cryptos. Because what is it? Wednesday. What's happening Wednesday? Have you all forgotten? It's Non Farms Wednesday, Non Farm Payrolls Wednesday. And we find out the direction of travel for US interest rates under the new Fed chair starting in May. Interest rate probability. Let's have a look what interest rates could do. Yeah, thing is, I didn't check if this is actually recording my sound. I might be wasting my time. Usually I check. Anyway, let's look at CME probabilities. Look, I'm already trying to book my next holiday. Yeah, I went. Oh, what's it doing now? CM probability. Look, there's no rate cut in March, April, May. I mean, there's no meeting in May. In June, that's when there could be a cut in June and September. Well, the probability is too spread. There's a probability of a cut in June. So there's one rate cut coming with the new Fed chair. It'll cut in June. After that, it depends on the data. I can see one rate cut in June. The rest depends on the data. What happens with non-farms. Let's have a look. What's non-farm? Let's go back. Non-farms. Here we are. Non-farm 70k expected. So basically, if it's higher than that, that reduces the probability of a rate cut, which means risk off, which means cryptos take a dump. I'm not sure about stocks though. They are showing relative strength. The stock market, S&P, is showing relative strength. It's refusing to drop. But many target stocks have dropped. So the S&P is not dropping. But that is a nothing burger because the target stocks have been dropping, like Microsoft. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft dropped. Microsoft, where are you? See, Microsoft's dropped. Whoa, look at that. Take it. Fell to 390. That's well into his buying range. And target for the bear market is just 340. So I bought quite a big chunk of Microsoft. Other stocks that have fallen are Qualcomm. Look at this. So the S&P is not dropping, but target stock, look, it fell to 132 and I bought a significant amount. Another one that's dropped. Meta dropped earlier, then it went up. But it should. It's succumbing again. These were good opportunities to buy around 600 with a view to trimming. You got opportunity to trim there, and you got a big opportunity to trim there. So I've been accumulating and trimming. Basically, what it does, the spread means. So I've got to say $100 spread. That means. When I next buy here, it's affected by 500 down here, and the target is, which is the target for the bear market base case, that it trades down to 500. Yeah, for this swing, and then if you get lucky, we get 400. As for the S&P trend forecast, Well, that's for patrons. I'm going to update that in my next article. It's a 2-year trend forecast. It's a roadmap against which to measure strength and weakness. For the S&P, nothing burger, because as you've just seen with the stocks, individual stocks, it really is a nothing burger. Because as if it drops here and the S&P doesn't drop there, I'm just going to be buying at 500. I'll have bought here, trimmed a bit there, bought here, trimmed a bit there, and as it drops to target of around 500 base case, then I'll buy. And then if you get lucky, we get this. The price action below 500 is getting lucky. The lower it goes, the luckier we get. 380, I would load up the back of the truck if it fell to 380 meta. I still own quite a sizable chunk of meta. So I went to Paris and I took a look at the ultimate altcoin, the Mona Lisa. In fact, I went nuts. I had crypto on my mind. I was staring at the Mona Lisa and what popped in my mind? No, what a pretty picture. No, what cryptos. I was off. I was rambling about cryptos. At that time, Bitcoin, I think, was around 80k, and I was saying, it's going to drop below 80k and then fall below 70k. I was just giving a Bitcoin commentary. You can watch it here. Forget Bitcoin, forget Ethereum, forget Solana. You want to invest in what? Mona Lisa coin. $1 billion market cap. Bitcoin's crashing. Was it 78k? ETH 2200. Solana what? 99. Mona Lisa coin's always worth more than $1 billion. $1 billion per coin. Market cap of 1. Come on, let's get other people have a go. Slowly. Oh, nearly tripped. There we go. That was our pilgrimage to the Mona Lisa. Look at it, it's packed. This is February. Oh, it's January. 31st of January. And after the Mona Lisa, I went and looked at the Egyptian hieroglyphics. And I deciphered them. I can actually read them. And you know what they told me? They told me what Bitcoin price is going to do. The pharaohs had it. Satoshi is an Egyptian. Satoshi Nakamoto is not Japanese, he's Egyptian. Pharaoh from 4,000 years ago, and he wrote down hieroglyphics what the Bitcoin price will do. So I deciphered the hieroglyphics. So yeah, you can watch that as well. I can read hieroglyphs. Look, it's there. It's a prediction from the past. It says Bitcoin will top at 125k, then fall to 80k, then bounce, then fall below 70, then bounce to 90, then fall below 60. Ooh, it was all written 2,500 years ago what Bitcoin will do. Satoshi is a pharaoh. So the bottom line is that Bitcoin and cryptos are in a corrective rally pending new bear market lows. As per the targets in my previous video and articles, base case it trades below 50k, and given the severity on the drop, I think it's going to trade below 40k. It's going to break 40. It's going to go into the 30s. Because look at it's dropped 53%. And the bounce is feeble. It needs a strong bounce. If it doesn't, then it suggests it's going to go below 40k. My base case is around the range. I think it's 48k to 38k. So I already, contemplated that it would break below 40k. But with this 52% drop, that increases the probability of that happening. So as for the stock market, well, I'm going to update that in my article. Going to leave something for the patrons. Yeah, in the extensive analysis. It'll be first made available to patrons who support my work, yada yada yada. So do consider becoming a patron by supporting my work for just $9 per month. And that article will be, as usual, pretty in-depth. I've been writing it since I've been back from Paris, which is not long ago, a few days. A few days ago, I came Friday. So about 5 days ago, something like that. So I've been writing it. And I thought I'd do this video. I promised Patron that I would try and do a video, covering cryptos and stock market to some degree, limited, because obviously I'm ad lib. It's all ad lib, so it's not like extensive analysis. I'm relying on what I've already done. There you can see ETH. It's gonna break below. Is this ETH? What's this? What am I looking at? Solana. Yeah, Solana's gonna break below 30. Bitcoin, yeah, it's gonna break below 40. ETH is gonna break below 1,000. These are gonna be, as I said in the previous video, when I put these lines here, it's gonna be a bloodbath. I have bought quite a bit of ETH in the BMNR. Tom Lee's, even though he's an idiot, I bought it at under $20. It's currently trading at, I think so, BMNR is currently trading at over $20. Yeah, look at that. This BMNR, it didn't go to 150. Did it go to 150? This price action is not, it's not accurate. Oh yeah, 71. Yeah. So it could, as a relief rally, it could get back to over 34, which those who have bought the dip, it's quite a big chunk from the low. You're talking about 100%, nearly 100% gain. See, I don't even need to get anywhere near $70. I don't expect it to. Maximum it could go to around 40. But even if it gets to the 33, that's still near 100% gain. Obviously, if it's going to 700, it's going to break down. I don't think it's going to go down to $5, but it could break down to about $13. It's not done to the downside. That's what I want. I'm seeking a rally to around 30, so I can reduce exposure. 29.6, which is still 70%. I'd say my average is around 20. My average buy is around here 20. That's near 50% profit. That'll do me. I want, it's not looking good though. ETH is not looking good. That is a pretty severe drop, but it does tend to have decent rallies, which is what I expect. I don't expect it to be as big as that. No, this is what I was expecting. I was expecting it to bottom around, not in terms of time, but in terms of price. Bottom around below around 1900, 1850, and then come back up to back over 3000. If it does that, that would deliver a significant profit to trim into. So if it comes from here, let's do it from here, and it comes up to 3300, that is a 70% profit. It's same as the BMNR. Yeah, it's up to this equates to 3300, 66% profit. While for ETH it would be, well, let's do the average higher. Let's make it realistic. Average 2100. So 56% profit, and on BMNR it would be about 66%. So it's slightly more on the thing. Plus this is an ICE. Anyway, I'm rambling on now. So do check out my other articles that are open to the public and patrons. Don't worry, I'm working on my next article. It's 4 a.m. nearly Wednesday. I should get it posted before Monday's open. It's a quite chunky article. Got lots of sections in it on cryptos and stocks. And I've covered Circle now as well. Circle, I'm not worried about Circle. If I put Circle there, I'm not worried about Circle. Let's put Circle. Fork. See, they don't. One of the things is people don't. They don't take in what I'm saying. I always get they interpret what they want to interpret. I've told folks from when it was trading at 200 that it could fall to as low as 30. It could do my exact words are, Circle, I'm accumulating Circle big below 100, but it could do a Coinbase and fall to 30. So you have to be prepared for that, for the long haul. See, I'm going to be selling over, well, I'll trim over exposure up to 90, but the profit will come, say, starting 150 and all the way to over 300. That is in the distant future, a few years down the road. Coinbase was the same. I'm a lot better positioned in Circle than I was in Coinbase. So this was a better planned, better executed, should I say, because that, unlike this one, I didn't buy its IPO, I didn't buy the IPO, I didn't buy this. I was telling people at 200, yeah, I've got my eye on Circle, but I bought some around 120, then trimmed there, yeah, then basically got out, and because I was expecting it to fall below 100, so I didn't want to be holding. I trimmed most of what I bought on this dip here because I was expecting to break below 100. I didn't know how low it will go. I suspected it could get to a Coinbase and get to 30, but I've accumulated it, then I trimmed it there, and then I accumulated again, and now I'm about 140% invested. If Bitcoin falls to 40k, then it is going to go 30. One of those things, but it could rally to 90. That's like a 50% jump. That's plenty of percentage to trim into. And then if Bitcoin falls, the ideal scenario for Circle would be, well, you can see this, yeah, would be Bitcoin relief rally to about, say, 86k. That will bring Circle up to 90, heavy trim, say down to 100% invested, and then Bitcoin takes another nosedive to a fresh low, trading into the 40s, and Circle comes down, probably trading into the 30s, and then just rebuy. That would be the ideal scenario. That is if things go perfectly. The alternative is you don't always get what you want. You know, what I would love to happen is that, but the alternative is that Bitcoin collapses below 40k and Circle goes down to around the low 30s. And what I do, I'll just buy more. I'll go from 140% invested. Let me just check. I'm 140% invested. Current tally. I've got to update the website. 160%. I'm 161% invested. Alright, so if it fell from here, 60, this is not enough to trim. It's 22%, that's not enough. I need at least 43%, so about 70 I'll start trimming. It's not far off, just $8 away. I'll start trimming there and trimming all the way to 90. But if it falls now, I'll go from about 161% invested to about something like 180% invested, and that's when I'll probably stop adding. You know, there has to be a limit. There has to be a limit in case something goes wrong. Like with Coinbase, I think I got to 200% invested when it fell to 30. So if it falls to 30, I'll probably get to 180% invested. Yeah, and then trim. Then say if it went up here, say if it went to 40, accumulated, then it goes up to 90, and I trim, and then it falls again to 60, and I accumulate some of what I trimmed, and then it goes off. That's it, new bull market. Yeah, it could be. See, the pace of decline is that it's compressed. If you look at Bitcoin, it's very compressed. That means that the bottom could come earlier. It could come February, March. The bottom, because there's no relief rally. It's just, look, it's here. Instead of being here, it's here. So it could bounce a little bit, then crash into March. The bear market bottom could come in March. Everyone's waiting for September, October, November. That's what they're positioned for. Well, they're positioned for new all-time highs now. But that's what they're waiting for. But the bottom could come in March. It's not on anyone's radar. No one expects Bitcoin to bottom in March. Not even me. But I'm looking at the pace of decline, 60, and how feeble the bounce is. Now, if it wastes a couple of months here, then that does increase the probability of that it bottoms later in the year. But at this point in time, there's a risk that it resumes its downtrend and it goes down to below 40, and it does it during March. And that's when the bear market bottoms. This is why you have to buy the dip. You don't get hooked on forecasts. You focus on the price. People fixate, oh, October, I'm going to buy in October. You buy as the price drops, you accumulate as the price drops. The price could drop in October, the price could drop now. You wait until October and it's come and dropped and bounced back up to 80. What are you doing? You've blown it. This is why you got to put limit orders in. Put the limit orders in because they alert you. They alert you. There's something like 200 stocks, 200 markets. I haven't got my eye on all of them. I've got limit orders in place. They get triggered and I go take a look. What's happening? What happened? What triggered it? What happened? Should I add more? Should I do a quick analysis? That's how I approach the markets. I've got thousands of limit orders across. I've got loads of accounts. Thousand limit, and they ping my phone when they get triggered, and I go and if it's a big order, then I'd spend some time on it. Like what did I buy big? SPGI, another stock, Humana, I think I bought. SPGI, they were significant orders, so I went spend some time analysing what orders to add. So as they get pinged, then I add more and spend some time analysing. If no orders are getting triggered, then I don't look at the stock. Like the AI stocks like ASML, I've not looked at them for a while. People ask me, what do I think of that? AMD, well, AMD did trigger some. I only look at them, like TSM's not triggered any. Qualcomm's triggered a lot, so I looked at that. Yeah, I looked at Qualcomm quite a bit. This is how low it could go. Qualcomm could go down to 115. It'll probably go lower. That's my projection. It could probably. It's so weak. It could go down 100. I've got limit orders all the way to 100, 99 in fact. ASML's not dropped. AVGO did drop. I did buy some here. Accumulate and distribute. I sold virtually. I hold a small amount. Let's see, how much do I hold? I left a small amount on the table. Yeah, oh, it's quite bigger than I thought. 0.3% of portfolio. I thought it was 0.1. So I do hold some AVGO. If it pumped back to 400, I've got scope to sell. So Microsoft's the only one that's really plunged, and I should have bought more. It's 0.6% of portfolio. Google I've sold because it was pumping to a new high. I think I sold around 330, 325. Sold a chunk the other day. I expect this to, it says getting lucky, but I expect it to get down to around 250. Yeah, and probably this is the getting lucky one, 190. I think it will trade down to below 200. Google. That's why I've sold a chunk the other day at around 330. Yeah, I said 325. I sold it at 325 a chunk, about 5% of what I hold, with a view to buying it back at 225. So there's $100 spread. That's like buying at 125. Yeah, down here. So you sell at 325, buy back at 225. Effective rebuy is 125. That's not even on this radar. That's how you play it. So that's my video as promised to patrons. Tesla. Ooh, should we take a look at Tesla? Tesla is, it's a crazy stock, I tell you. Earnings is absolute garbage. Look at it, earnings. It missed there. It didn't blooming do anything to it. It's garbage. Look, it's got declining earnings. They're not even increasing. You know, these are fake. That's a fake beat, because look, the earnings is dropped, but it's still technically it's a beat. 45 estimate, 50, but it's a fake beat. This is what I call fake beats. Earnings has to go up. If it's going down, then it's not a beat. It's a fake beat. Right here, it's expecting 41 cents. Down from 45. Now if it beats it and gets 42, that's a beat, but it's a fake beat. The stock is nuts. It's waiting to crack. It's gonna go below 300. My base case is around 230. I'll buy a significant amount here. I've sold out. I don't hold any. If I've got a big short position, and my throat's going now, I've talked too much. And this video is a mere fraction of my extensive analysis that is first made available to patrons who support my work. So for immediate first access to all of my analysis and trend forecasts, then do consider becoming a patron by supporting my work for just $9 per month, which is nothing compared to what you get access to. I try to do best by my patrons. Folk only need to go read my articles open to the public and the literal thousands of comments under them. Look at this one, 2,200, nearly 2,300 comments under this article, which shows the level of engagement with patrons. Keep calm and carry on buying AI tech stocks as they deviate from their highs. Where the greater the deviation, then the greater the buying opportunity presented. Keep calm and carry on buying. Quantum AI tech stocks. Access to my latest mega analysis, a comprehensive 3-part guide on how to really get rich during 2020. That has exclusively been made available to patrons right now. You can go and read the 3 guides right now, full access, which is a truly epic piece of work that took me the whole of 2023 to write, which condenses down my lifetime knowledge and experience down to some 60 chapters, which is on top of my ongoing analysis and trend forecasts that are made available to patrons for just $5 per month. There are no bolt-on extras, no courses, no other crap that all these con merchants do. You get full access to everything. So, did you buy the October 22 bloodbath, especially in tech stocks, fangs, with the likes of Meta plunging below $100? Well, I and my patrons did. Go read my articles and the comments posted under them. We got well blooded by catching all those falling knives. Did you make the mistake of listening to the likes of Clown Kramer on the Cartoon Network, who stated Meta, amongst others, was finished? Meta finished at $100 a share. It was the mother of all buying opportunities. This clown stated it was finished. Says it all about Clown Kramer and the Cartoon Network.
They're finished. They're finished as places.
They're finished. They're finished as
places to invest.
We keep talking about this falling knife as if the knife continues to fall. Though there are people who look at this and say,
look, I'm looking at the money coming out. Where's the money coming from to buy to buy industrials? It certainly isn't coming from new people saying, "Wow, it's time to put money in the stock market," because they get such a great rate on the 2-year. I think it's money coming, rotating out of companies that have dominated this market for the last decade and into companies like Caterpillar who actually know what the hell they're doing.
Are you thinking that the tech companies that I think that you're disappointed in are going to get religion, if you will, and get disciplined? And what does discipline look like?
You know what they are? I would call them atheists. They believe in nothing.
That's a nihilist.
Meta? I don't know. I think they have to change the name again. They really do. I mean, you can't be saying Meta. I don't know. How about loser? How about Stuputa? I don't know. Anything doesn't even matter. I don't know if they can make a comeback. The facts have changed, and I have to change with it. I believed. I thought I'd be safe. I was wrong. Bottom line, forget being leaders. Big stocks are now followers in a post-COVID era, where we're learning that their earnings were far more inflated by the pandemic than we knew. We're just now discovering that tech emperors have no clothes, if they're even emperors at all.
So at least give it a try. Read the comments, see the depth of analysis. You won't be sorry because I do my best by my patrons. Go that extra mile. Gaining access to over 35 years experience. Right from before the 1987 crash straight through to this stock's bear market. That we ride the quantum AI megatrend into the future.